So, morning, everybody. It's great to be carrying on with our interviews of people who've played a crucial role in the IAFL. And I'm delighted today that I'm going to be interviewing Veronique from France. She and I just spoke a bit of France, but I agreed that I would not do the whole interview in French because I wouldn't be able to. So, welcome, Veronique.
Thank you.
I just wanted to start off by asking you about a brief resume of your career before we get into talking about the IFL. So can you give me some thoughts about your early life as a lawyer and how you progressed through your career?
Okay, I came to law quite late because first I studied philosophy, then I was married and went to live in Japan for 3 years and a half. So I took my oath to the Bar of Paris in 1984. And quite quickly, I was called by a friend who was working at the American embassy, and she asked me to make a series of conferences on French family law. And that's very surprisingly how I fell in the international private law, because all these ladies married to French people coming from the United States had problems at one point, and they called me. That's how it started.
Wow, that's an interesting beginning.
It's a
And
funny.
yes, I mean, it's not the usual traditional path.
No,
And it's
no.
great for our listeners to know that people have taken different routes in their career.
Mm.
Can you tell me 2 or 3 career highlights?
Mm. When I was a young lawyer, I participated to the contest of called La Conférence du Stage, which is a speech contest, whereby 12 young lawyers are elected every year by their peers and elect the new 12.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very nice because you get an experience to plead in the Court of Assizes in very high profile criminal cases, legal aided, obviously. And then I also participated to a speech contest in Caen, where there is a museum for peace. And it's a very interesting contest where I decide the subject is always the same. It's what case um, in human rights defense would you have liked to take the year before? And it was just after the trial and execution of Nicola and Elena Ceausescu. So I decided to take the defense of Elena Ceausescu. That was terrifying because there was 1,200 people listening, and I was shaking like a leaf. But
Wow,
I got it. I got the first prize. That was funny.
fantastic. That's so interesting. And tell me, have you got any top tips for young lawyers today?
Yes, I think they should. It's going to be very stupid, but I think they should aim for the moon always,
Yeah.
because they. It seems that they are more technicians these days. They're very good in law, much better than I was, but they have a difficulty to see further, not only the law, but what we can. And I think it's a big challenge because the IA is coming in, and this is going to change a lot of things. But the IA will never be creative, never. Only human
And
beings.
and probably won't have emotional intelligence,
Yes,
which is
that's
the
it.
other thing that you need to be a good lawyer, I think.
Yes, absolutely, Susan. I fully agree on that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also to take pleasure in doing it. It's not only a job, it's also a community, and it's full of things to do. Like when I was young, we used to do some improvisation with judges. And it
Mm-hmm.
was very funny because it was playing a role with judges. Now it seemed that in France, I don't know for England, but in France, judges and lawyers are kept apart, which is very bad because we're all participating to justice. And I think we need to maintain a dialogue with the judges. It's very important, as much as we need for the well, the most brilliant of us to keep a dialogue with the backbenchers and the lawmakers. We also need to keep a very strong dialogue for with the judges. It's very important, and I feel there's something missing these days in France, at least in France.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do have a dialogue, but the problem is, I think they are always concerned about impartiality and neutrality. And so they don't want to be seen to know lawyers too much, spend too much time with lawyers. That's my take. I might be wrong.
No, you're right, but I think it's a way of thinking that is negative for lawyers and for judges. We can have dialogues with judges without trying to influence them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Agree. And I think that has been a shift in my lifetime.
yeah, there's been a shift in France, and I really regret it because it's by dialogue that we can make the law progress, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm very concerned these days also by the nationalism and the way countries close up, you know, like I am better than the other ones, or it's a problem. And it's a trend these days, and I'm worried about that. I'm very worried. When you see in Europe itself, we see countries who, for example, in Poland, before the change of politics, we heard that Polish law was over European law. And that's very worrying because it seems that steps that we considered as victories are going backwards.
Yes, I think you're right in so many ways, and the world has become a lot more volatile.
Yes, yes.
You're never sure what could happen next. You could switch on the news and anything could happen, whereas we've also in our lives lived through a period of great stability.
Yes, and I
Now it
also
feels
think that lawyers are the keepers of democracy. So we really need to keep always that we never give up on the respect of international treaties, the respect of human rights. It's very important that lawyers keep their role.
Yeah, and really that's why many people became lawyers in the first place.
Yes, but they forget it.
Yeah.
when they are involved in making money, being successful, and sometimes they forget that they're also the army of the law.
Yeah.
We need to
Well, that is a brilliant reminder to everyone, but in particular to our younger listeners.
Yeah.
Talking about younger listeners, have you got any advice that you would give either in terms of career or life?
First, I think during the studies, they should favor experiences abroad. It's very important to look and see how people think. It's different. And that's by this difference you enrich yourself.
Yeah.
Especially between the Anglo-Saxon world and the French and the Latin world, the Code Napoleon countries. It's very interesting to see how people reach a result or reach or success to build up a strategy. It's very important that they exchange, and I really think that our firms should exchange young people for a week or even for a week. You can see by talking to your peers that you come to the same result by different paths. And these different paths are for me very important to understand that it's another way of thinking. It's not less or better. It's just another way.
I agree. And in fact, we're going to come on to this, but that's one of the great roles, of course, that the IAFL has
Yes,
taken
exactly.
in terms of mixing people up, making us understand each
Yes.
other's laws, to the extent that we need to, and also cultures and
Yes.
in fact that's one of the great things about the IFL is how we've all met and sort of formed these relationships, which is fantastic.
Yes, I fully
When
agree.
did you in fact first become involved in the IFL?
Okay, it's under my wall. Hold on a second. I don't remember. 1993.
Wow, so a long time.
It's Helen Ward who called me.
Yeah.
Because at the time there was only Alain Cornec in
Hmm.
France. So
Yeah.
she called me in. I was very surprised. Pleased, but very surprised.
And really, the French have been fantastic at supporting each other, and there are now a number of French.
Yeah, I'm very happy that there's a number of them because the more we are, the best it is.
And what would you say? What have you done since you've become involved? What sorts of roles have you taken in the IFL?
Not very much, to be honest. I was a member of uh, the the board to have some new members to give an advice of new
Oh, the
members.
admission.
Oh, yes, that's it.
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
That's all. That's
yeah.
all.
But you've spoken at a number of conferences, I think.
Yes, I did in the past. Yes.
Yes, brilliant. And having been involved with the organisation for a long time, can you provide your reasons for joining? 3 reasons why you would suggest to other people that they join.
First, because I think that being a avocat or a solicitor or a barrister is very you don't open the windows.
Mm-hmm.
You are more or less in a path that goes from the client to the court, blah blah blah. But you need to enrich yourself and your thoughts. You need to meet other people. It comes back to the same thing. I mean, I really think that I've always liked traveling, meeting people. I lived in Japan, I lived in the United States, and I felt trapped when I took my oath because I was, like, no, I'm not interested in only seeing the French way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I think we should do in the IFL is really enroll people from countries where that are not represented because they are maybe lawyers are too poor to pay for the fees. It's always been my fight, but it's difficult. I understand it's difficult, but I think we have to learn also from very different laws that are not common law or Roman law, but other way of looking at the law. Because the
Mm-hmm.
law exists everywhere.
Mm.
It's very interesting to see other way of solving problems through the law.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I'm thinking there is that at the moment we do have reduced fees for certain jurisdictions, which is great,
Yes.
something that I think a number of people have worked on, and I'm sure you've championed as well in the background. And that is great because there are some countries where we're really underrepresented. So some parts of Africa, we've
Yeah.
done some webinars recently, and that's been great because we've reached new people, which is fabulous. But
Yeah.
also now some of the funds for attending conferences can be reduced, some of the fees, which is great. But I think that's right. That is something that the IFL are really working on. Do you have a vision for the future of the IFL?
No, I hope that they will reach new countries, which is in a way difficult because if you look at family law in some countries where the law system is not very developed, you see that the commercial law is taking on, but family law is very limited.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, I went to Ivory Coast many times and I've tried to express that it would be nice for Ivory Coast to ratify international conventions, but it's not their main concern in
Mm-hmm.
France. And that's the difficulty we have to solve. Maybe we should work with the Hague Conference on that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting to work on the Hague Conference on how to advocate international private law in countries where they're very good. For example, look at in Africa, you have the OHADA commercial code, which is
Mhm.
very good in international law, but only with commercial things.
Mhm.
And they are not very much involved in international private law related to family.
Right.
Family law is very basic, and it's a pity, in fact.
Yeah, so that's something that we could look at potentially doing in the
Yeah.
IAFL. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe explain, maybe make some conferences with the help of The Hague to explain to these countries that how important it is to develop an international vision of the law, because no one can sit in his own room and say, we are dealing with the law. You need to open the window and understand that you have neighbors and, you know.
Yeah, and our world is now so globalized in many ways.
Open more windows. The
Yeah,
more windows we open, the more happy I am.
that's
And
great.
the more positive I am for the future of the IAFL.
Yeah, and that's a brilliant mantra. So open more windows. I'll remember that. Veronique, I think you're still working, aren't you?
Yeah.
And are you working full time or do you have a balance? And what do you do in your spare time?
I take care of my grandchildren, to be honest.
And how old are they?
They range from 19 to 6.
Wow, lovely.
Well, I read, I go to the movies, I go to museums, and I live a little bit because I work from 8:30 in the morning to 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and then I'm out. It's impossible to work 10 or 12 hours a day. It's impossible. I
Yes,
cannot do it anymore.
and I think now more than ever before, where everyone is advocating a balance and making sure that they do other things to make sure that you do, live a little, as you say, and you do other things for yourself.
Yeah. And I have very nice partners, especially Elodie, who is very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice with me.
Yeah, well, she's a lovely person. You're very lucky to work together, and she's lucky to have you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to say that we haven't discussed in this little podcast?
No, I think your special conference for young lawyers is very, very good. It's a very, very good idea. The young ones here love it. Very nice thing. Maybe we should develop a network of young lawyers, not members, but willing to be. And maybe have a system. I don't know. I'm not very good at technical solutions, but maybe put them in, help them to make links.
Yeah, in fact, that is the Young Lawyers Conference because you don't have to be a fellow. It's people who are aspiring.
No, what I mean is that maybe on our website,
I
we
see.
have a list of young lawyers with their details, and you want to be part of this, not really IAFL, but
Yeah,
fellows to be.
yeah,
I think it would be nice for them because sometimes when I speak to one of my associates, they say, "Oh, I'm not going to call Susan or whoever because she's like a star, and I cannot." But they would be happy to communicate with someone of their peer, and they could exchange.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that would be very enriching to have this kind of maybe a special website for them or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's a great idea. So this will obviously be listened to by the executive committee, and they'll come. You will be passing on the baton with lots of ideas. So thank you very, very much.
You're welcome, Susan.
It's been great speaking to you. I haven't spoken to you for a while, so really lovely to speak to you. Glad that everything is working out so well for you. You sound to have a lovely life, although still working hard. And
I'm very happy to be a partner at CMAR because for the first time, I'm not stressed.
good.
Stayed by the cases, by the clients, but that's normal. Okay.
That's brilliant. And thank you for all of your insights. Really lovely to talk to you. Thank you, Veronique.
Bye-bye.
Then, Veronique, we can stay for a minute. Just bear with me.
Okay. So I'm seeing you, I think, in London.
Yes. Are you and Elodie coming?
Yes, I'm coming with Elodie.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And I think Alice is coming.
I don't know. I didn't talk to Alice. And Elodie is like, you know, Mercure. She's never there. She's actually she's with a
Guadeloupe.
case in the French West Indies. I don't know where, and she's traveling all the time.
Yes.
So we
So
didn't
she's,
talk
as long
for
as
at
she's
least.
happy.
Oh, she's very happy. Yes, she
That's
is.
brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
She's very happy.
Well, they will cut off the end of our chit chat, Veronique, but I just
Yes.
wanted to say thank you so much because it's
You're
great to talk
welcome.
to you. And I look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay.
All
Bye-bye.
the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.